Today's bike check is the 1986 Hutch Trickstar Invasion Tour weapon in futuristic black. This bike was iconic because when you have this era of bikes, anytime you talk to somebody who was a teenager in the 1980s, they'll always have a BMX bike they remember. And when you show up with a Hutch Trickstar or say that name, they remember that name, and it's always been iconic. So this is made by Hutch, which was Richard Hutchins out of Baltimore, Maryland. So it's a home state bike. His son got into BMX racing and he started producing frames, and on the company went and climbed up the ladder through the ranks of notoriety in BMX circles and then the freestyle circles. So the Hutch Trickstar is definitely an iconic bike, and that's why it's in my collection. I never rode a Hutch Trickstar back in the day. I had friends that did, and good, bad, and indifferent. John Bundy had one of these bikes built up with futuristic black just like this, and somehow it got stolen in the 1980s, never recovered. And here is my version of that bike, or that era of bike. This is a complete bike that was offered by Hutch for the 1986 tour that Hutch did around the country called the Invasion Tour. So this is called the Invasion Tour weapon. That's a hard decal to come by, or it was for some time. So I just now found a reproduction of it recently and was able to complete the bike. But as far as the spec go on the bike, I built it how I would have done it, or how I felt the bike would be justified. So you can say that I'm wrong about certain things or right about other things, but is the creme de la creme as far as bike parts go. Nothing, I will say nothing on this bike is reproduction as far as a new pork chop part and that kind of thing. The bike is fully refinished. The frame, fork, handlebars, stem, seat post has all been refinished, but it was originally a futuristic black frame and fork. So it is to how I wanted it. It's a hard color to reproduce and show, but ASAP Powder Coating did this bike in 2004 for me, and they did a great job as far as replicating what the silver vein looks like. It's the finish is like a wrinkle finish, so it gives some texture to the bike. And as for folklore goes, the Hutch bikes that were not selling certain colors were redone in futuristic black because it didn't show any imperfections and so forth in the frame. So a lot of times you'll see these frames underneath. If you sand them down, you'll find a purple, pink, blue, maybe a color bike that was not selling at the time. This bike was pretty pink underneath, so I'm going with that folklore being true and correct. The spec on this bike, like I said, is period correct, and does have dated Diacomp cables, Diacomp Tech 4 levers, Amy bubble font tries, the Hutch ladder bars. This is the one that has the small bar in the middle and the bigger bar on top. There's different renditions of that then too, with higher and lower bars. And this is kind of in the middle, I would say, the high caliber era, but not the cheaper flattened bars that are on the Wind Styler. This has the Western H stem, which is iconic. I mean, this is the stem that was made famous on R.L. Osborne's bike that was in Rad. The Hutch stem was a good stem. It had provisions for ACS rotor and Skyway Spin Master as far as the adjuster barrel goes. This has an original ACS rotor with original decals on it. The whole bike is comprised of original parts, if original finish, or at least an original part that's been refinished. So the 880 FS880 brake was an NOS brake in the box when I got it, and has the pictures of R.L. Osborne doing airs on it and stuff. I'll pull that out and maybe show that. This has the small pegs on it, the shorty front pegs, which I have no idea how we used, but we did. Metal hub, aluminum hub tufts, and these wheels were in such nice shape. I mean, I've used the bike, but you can see the serial number on there, still on the rim. So they were in great NOS shape when I bought it. Original Tioga Comp ST tires, super sought after. Woody Itson, Eat Your Heart Out. I have like 5 pairs of these I bought from Alan's BMX in the UK years and years and years ago, and they're still going strong. Of course, in the drivetrain department, the classic Redline flight crank. So this is an original finish, white Redline flight crank. You can see they've been touched up and whatnot. Redline did do some white cranks in the 80s and only in 175 as far as I know. So this is a pair of those. Has a sealed bottom bracket and all the original hardware, the bubble font chain ring, original Izumi chain with the white links, and of course, classic MKS Graphite X pedals. These were NOS. Obviously, I've used them here and there, so they've got a couple scratches on them, but everything should be scarred and stained a little bit on these bikes because they were meant to be used. Big donut seat clamp, which has the larger front area on it, so it's a completely round, like UFO, I guess they called them, seat clamps. Original Hutch laid-back seat post. Cashimax Arrow with boom boom Allen bolt guts. Like a little bit discolored, the seat, but it's original. It's not one of the newer reproductions. This has a MX 1000 on the back, original paint. The Skyway freestyle pads, as far as the brake pads go. There's a freewheel on those bikes. So Suntour freewheel. Again, the Comp ST tires, alloy hub tufts, front and rear. And that's the overall spec of this bike. So if you're into 80s freestyle bikes, which I am, this is the epitome of the bikes of that era and a real standout. Woody Itson, Rick Moliterno, Mike Dominguez. Mike Dominguez made basically this bike famous with his no-footed can-cans over Upland Skate Park and with the black tufts and stuff. So this emulated a little bit of everybody's bike from that era. So if it's not up to your spec, so be it. But I think you'll admit that this is a great spec bike and a great throwback time capsule from the 1986 era.